Yeah, Dink wants to know what, goddamn.
Lloyd, will you shut the filth up? I have nothing to filthy say to you, Lloyd. Just shut the filth up.
I spent 10 years at Walmart pushing carts with a machine in my hand, out in the sun, out in the weather. I'm done with that.
Why would a man have to constantly... Right.
A little high on that one.
I believe he belongs to my Father in heaven, and his name is Yahweh! Yahweh! Yahweh!
I'm George Takei, and he's the T-Rex of Talk Show. You're listening to the Newsguy Show.
It's time again for that show once again, folks. It's the Newsguy Show with your host, the Newsguy, every Monday through Friday. But tonight, on Saturday night, you are hearing me 10 p.m. until whenever over this here Talk Show Radio Network. And from what I understand, I am being simulcast over Spreaker.com right now, thanks to the lovely and talented Debbie Daly, who I had the pleasure of speaking to earlier tonight. We did an impromptu show for an hour and a half, and it went by so fast. I was only planning on coming on there for about a half an hour, and it wound up being 3 times that, like an hour and a half, and so it was really, really good. She's an excellent conversationalist and very talented. She did some voices, one voice in particular, which was really good, and she also played some clips of herself doing some professional work. So that was very, very interesting and very, very good. So we're all happy about that. At least I am. At least. And the chat room is now angry at Debbie for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I also plan on having the Chad call in. He said he would. I'm not too sure if he is going to or not. I spoke to him earlier because he went to Harlem, USA, earlier today to take part in this Trayvon Martin rally that was sponsored by the New Black Panther Party. So he had some interesting observations to see about that, and we'll just speak to him for a little bit. I think that should be in a short time from now. We'll see what that's about. I'm not too sure if Commander McBride is going to call in or not. But let's see here. Oh, Debbie Daly's on their freak out. They're playing this. All right, we're not getting into that. Leave Debbie alone. She's my friend. You guys got to leave her alone. So what are we talking about here? Oh yeah, so I don't think Commander McBride is going to call in because for those who haven't been following the whole drama, but I guess I'll get into that a little bit later if I have any time. It's apparently he doesn't want to talk about it anymore, so it didn't end very well for him. But we'll get into that if we have some time. Of course, the big story tonight continues to be the the slow push towards a war in Syria, American involvement in Syria, the Syrian civil war, I should say, right? That's probably the more direct or appropriate terminology to use. Obama's over at this G20 summit taking place in St. Petersburg, Russia. Apparently he is getting some sort of attraction. I'm not too sure. It depends on who you talk to, because I've seen some reports saying that nobody's talking to him. He's standing around in a corner twiddling his thumbs. I don't know if that's really true or not, but at least that's what some people are saying. Other people are saying that he is getting people on board to at least in part or to agree to some sort of intervention in the Syrian conflict. The weird thing that I didn't catch earlier this week was that this resolution that was passed by the Senate, John McCain, who really is turning into, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with this guy, you know. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, if he had, there was some sort of a thing that happened earlier this week at some town hall meeting that he was having on the Syrian conflict, and people were talking to him very passionately and stuff, and afterwards he's walking out of the meeting, and some reporter asked him a question, and he basically called the reporter stupid for asking these questions. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if he had spoken like this and been this aggressive towards Obama during the 2008 election, maybe he'd be the president right now, or maybe at least for the last 4 years before. So that's the whole thing. I don't know. This guy, I don't know what his deal is, but he's just he's coming off as very arrogant, just like all of them eventually do. Barney Frank, if you guys remember in the town hall meeting many years ago, he equated this woman who was talking to him as being the equivalent of talking to a table. So I don't know. I've never spoken to a table before, so I don't know how interesting that actually is. But so the thing is that I'm getting off the handle. But John McCain, what he did with this whole resolution, it had something to do with changing the wording around so that it actually said that the intervention would be targeted to topple the Assad regime or the Assad government. And so it's kind of weird like that, It's like, what's going on? What's really going on here, And the odd thing about it is that Obama is pushing for this, of course, and I have said this quite a few times, that I think that Obama is taking the right course, even though he is getting a lot of flack for dithering and all this kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is that the United Nations has not presented its findings on this Syrian conflict, about who actually did this chemical weapons attack. The Russians have already presented evidence that, at least on one occasion prior to the August 21st attack, that, there was a claim that the Assad regime used chemical weapons, but then it turned out that it was the rebels. And for some reason, whenever the rebels use chemical weapons, nobody gets upset about that. And they're using the chemical weapons on their own people, the civilian population, as in a false flag attack to make it look like Assad did it. And everybody's up in arms when they think that Assad did it, but all of a sudden, you know what I mean. I'm getting them. I went in a circle right there. But you understand what I'm saying. So this is the whole thing. And now it seems Petraeus is saying that it's necessary. Senator Graham, Lindsey Graham, Lighten the Loafers Graham, he's saying if we don't do this right, we should be nuked. Oh, we could be nuked? I don't think we should be nuked. I don't think Graham would say that we should be nuked. But, this is the whole thing. Petraeus calls on Congress to back White House on Syria. This is from Politico.com. He's, of course, been retired now after he had that whole sex scandal last year. But he's saying failure of Congress to approve the president's request could have serious ramifications not just in the Mideast, but around the world. And that actually is true because of the fact that now we see Putin gaining a lot of ground in the world stage. He's looking like a real leader in terms of his defense of Syria. And he's interpreting Obama's kind of approach to this as being an okay for him to act strong in other areas of the world, most notably in Eastern Europe. He started this trade war with Poland this week, basically going over all the importing of produce from Poland through Belarus into Russia. Basically, saying, listen, you guys, your stuff is not up to standards that we find good. And this is the same kind of game that Putin played with other Eastern European countries, such as the Ukraine, over the last 10 years with oil. Because the oil pipeline goes from Russia with this from Gazprom into Russia, and he turned off the oil in the middle of the winter. It wasn't very good. to say the least. So this is the thing that the problem that we're seeing now with Putin becoming stronger on the world stage. He's going to start throwing his weight around. He already is starting to throw his weight around, and it's hurting other allies of ours in other regions of the world. So it's not a good deal. It's not a good deal. So who knows what's going to come out with this? We don't really know. The last time I did check, it looked like Congress was very, very slowly moving in the direction of okaying this resolution. But it could go either way still. I mean, it still looks very strong that it's going to be voted against. But who really knows at this point? And so now Lindsey Graham, of course, he's saying the war-weary voters in South Carolina have to vote in favor of this resolution. They have to understand that if we don't attack Assad, Assad's going to attack us. And this is the same kind of thing they said in Vietnam. This is the same kind of thing that they said in the Iraq War, the build-up to the Iraq War. You know, and in the wake of 9/11, people were so freaked out by that. You know, that when somebody made the statements, those kinds of statements, it was kind of believable if you could understand it. So, but then it didn't turn out to be exactly the way that they did say it to be true. So that's an unfortunate thing that they always bring up these types of cases. And let's see here. Rebel opposition forces are our sworn enemies, said Jesse Gaston, who traveled nearly 3 hours from Rock Hill, South Carolina. He's like some sort of guy here. And he says, we've spent billions of dollars in one country trying to wipe them off the face of the planet, Al-Qaeda. I don't know, that's a typo, I guess. And yet we employ the strategy of funding them and giving them weapons in Syria to get Assad, you know. But that's the same kind of tactic that we've always done. I mean, look, you know, in Afghanistan, right, we created Al-Qaeda to get at the Soviets. And then we didn't do anything after the Soviets left, right? So, I don't know, I guess they call that blowback. But it's not too good. It's not a good deal. So, it's not a good deal at all. And we'll just have to, unfortunately, I just hope that, you know, if this does come back, this UN findings about this chemical weapons, it's going to look really bad for everybody if all of a sudden the UN comes back and says, guess what? It wasn't Assad, it was the rebels. And imagine if that actually does happen, right? Now, that's why I'm saying that it's better that Obama's going at this slowly, because God forbid we start launching missiles and getting ourselves into something, and then all of a sudden the UN releases its findings and says, you were wrong. See, that's going to be a very bad situation for everybody. And so that's really it, you know. I know he's getting a lot of flack for this, but what are you going to do about it? Because actually, you know, this is the whole thing. Now, Obama to link Syria with Iran. And this is actually coming from The Nation, which is a pretty conservative newspaper, or at least a periodical on the internet here. And this guy, Bob Dreyfus, he's saying that Obama's Syria war is really about Iran and Israel. Interesting. Because that's something that I've always said from the beginning of this. Okay, Chad is on the call, and I will get with you in a second, Chad. I didn't see you there because I don't look at the chat when I am talking on the internet, when I'm making my little speeches here, when I'm speechifying. So I will get you into a second here. So the thing is that I've said this from the beginning, that I think that this Syrian conflict is not the end, but rather the beginning of a very protracted war that's going to end with the destruction of Iran's nuclear plant. And whether or not Iran is actually building nuclear weapons or not is disputable or debatable. Some people are saying that they are, building these nuclear weapons, or they're, getting the enrichment process all the way up there so they can actually do some building. And the problem is
life is full of
don't
tough
really
choices.
know.
Luke or Richard for the living room.
That's the problem.
In
If
the
we have a
kitchen,
public,
maybe Jean-Pierre.
John Q. Public,
Okay, having a
you
man
and
for
I,
every room is just a
we're
fantasy.
sitting on the other
But you
side of
can
the
have every
fence
room
here
use it.
on all
18
this.
incredible cents at an incredible
Syria
value.
was building a
Use it.
nuclear
Choose them
reactor
all.
back in 2007, and Israel had to unilaterally go in there in the middle of the night and blow it up, despite the Bush administration telling them not to do anything. And then back in like 2003, Muammar Gaddafi turned over a nuclear weapons program that nobody knew that he had. All of a sudden, he saw what happened to Saddam Hussein. He said, I'm not going to be the next guy on the list, so I'm going to turn over my nuclear weapons program and open up my country to the CIA and let them do whatever they want to do in my country. So this is the thing about this. Whenever they say, and that was the one thing that John Kerry kept saying to Senator Rand Paul during their little tete-a-tete, if you will, earlier this week. Yeah, John Kerry kept saying, "Listen, you got to take part in these closed-door sessions that we're holding here. You'll get the real deal, and you'll understand why you have to vote in favor of this." So that's the problem with all this. All right. So anyway, the chat is waiting. I don't want to keep him any further or any longer than I have already. So I'm going to get the chat on because he's got to get some sleep also. So hold on here. I'm going to bring the chat on. So welcome aboard the Chad.
Welcome, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, doing good. Thank you. Hey, so I understand that you went to Harlem, USA earlier today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you were taking part in this Trayvon Martin rally that was held by the New Black Panthers.
Taking pictures of it, not marching, just listening, basically.
Okay. And so you were saying that there weren't a lot of people there at this rally?
250.
250 people, which is a pretty significant number. When you looked at the numbers, you didn't look at the numbers, but when you looked at it on the street, it filled up the whole street. It was, 250 people standing in one place in a city block in New York City. It's a sizable number, I can imagine, right?
Yeah, pretty sizable, but it's supposed to be 50,000. So.
Yeah, that's true. This is true. It's supposed to be 50,000 and only 250 came. And especially if you're thinking about it in a place like Harlem, you would think that there would be a lot of people who would just come out simply because of the demographics and all that kind of stuff. So, and so people were there, and what were they saying?
They were talking about racial profiling and loving yourself, loving your history. Not really too much hate, but just saying that, police brutality has to go, and, racism, gentrification needs to go, and just stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty good, and it was a bit powerful, some decent speakers, but it wasn't my forte.
It wasn't your forte, okay. And there were people there with the clenched fists going Black Power and all that.
Yeah, and dancing and rapping, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. So were there any, famous celebrities there?
Nick Cannon was supposed to be supporting it, but I didn't see him. I didn't see the billionaire that was there. I mean, this was supposed to have so much support, but it wasn't what I really was expecting. I thought it was going to be crowded, but it wasn't at all. So.
Yeah. So the Legalized Freedom wants to know was there any twerking going on?
No twerking. No twerking.
But the rapping was going on, and they were basically kind of conscious rappers or something like that?
No, they're playing regular hip hop, but they try to make a beat to the singer I'm Black and I'm Proud, James Brown. Yeah, they're trying to grab after him. I'm going to post the videos on YouTube to show it. And they're playing regular rap. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that, of course, James Brown singing "I'm Black and I'm Proud," that would be one of the songs that they would play. That would definitely be a go-to kind of song for that. And so you were there for like, what, 2-3 hours or something?
2 hours, went to get something to eat. You ever heard of Sylvia's?
Yes. You went there?
Yeah, I went there. That's where Bill O'Reilly and not Messy Jesse, Al Sherlington went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And did you have their famous chicken wings?
Nope. Just had beef ribs and collard greens.
Beef ribs. Okay, cool. And the food is there, very good, I take it, yeah?
Yes. And the lemonade's very good as well.
Ah, yeah. And yeah, that's another thing. Like, how come lemonade is all of a sudden something with the blacks? I don't forgive my language. How did lemonade become a black thing? I don't understand that.
I don't know either. I mean, I think it's a white thing. There were plenty of white people in that restaurant too.
Oh, look at that! See, the white people are taking over everything in Harlem. This is too much. Yeah. So there were a lot of white people in Harlem there.
Yep, they seemed pretty cool too. I saw white folks with dreadlocks, and I saw an interracial couple at the rally too, and they left after about 30 minutes. It was a black woman with a white man. So they weren't really getting any looks, like I said, but I think they were hearing the rhetoric, and that's why they just left. But.
Yeah, they were just kind of there checking out the scene and what was being said, kind of stuff. Yeah, but nobody was giving them the eye. Nobody was calling the woman a race traitor or
No.
Okay. Because there, sometimes, I don't know, like I knew a guy back in the day, in the early 90s. He was a nice guy, a white Italian guy, and he was dating this black girl. And he was always telling me that they'd walk down the street. This was at the time that there was Spike Lee's Jungle Fever, if you remember that.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard of it.
Yeah, so he's walking down the street, and all the black people are saying Jungle Fever to him, It's like, I don't know. He always got upset about that, and I was like, okay. But so Lutrian Pride says he loves watermelon. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Lutrian Pride, I think I heard of him. Well, you can eat watermelon whatever you want, man, and go eat your fried chicken, and, because I know why people say that, even though watermelon actually cleanses your pancreas. I don't even like watermelon, but it does clean your pancreas.
Yeah. I know watermelon is like the best thing you can have on a hot day. It's very, very good. And, of course, KFC, I mean, come on. I should own stock in that company. Really.
Oh, so you like KFC?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then Solution Pride says that watermelon is also good for your esophagus.
Is he just being sarcastic, or is he being honest?
I think he's being honest.
Oh, I thought he was being sarcastic, but I think that's true. But
But I don't know. Esophagus is that thing where you breathe, right? That's the part where you use to breathe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting off the topic here. So like they're talking about racial profiling with the cops, and they're saying justice for Trayvon, but they weren't really
justice for Trayvon. Why did he get profiled? And it was basically the same thing, but no really intense rhetoric. And it was mostly young people speaking, which was pretty good. So.
Okay. Yeah, but there wasn't any of that kind of like damn whitey kind of thing.
Nah, not really.
Okay, that's interesting. And because you would think, like with the Black Panthers, the new Black Panthers, that they would start saying something like that,
Yeah, and they were there too in the uniforms and everything, and they talked to me, and we had a decent conversation. They were looking at me weird because I was talking to some of the white folks that were there, but they didn't try to dab me or nothing. So.
So what were they saying to you? They said, "Why are you talking to those white people?"
Yeah, a little bit like that. I was passing out flyers and passing out some business cards, and I was talking about my radio show, and they said they wanted to get on too, and I gave them my card and some flyers, and they said, "We'll get on. We'll get on." And that's all that they were saying. But they're pretty nice, decent people, I think. But you know who King Samir Shabazz is?
King Shamir Shabazz?
Yeah. The guy that has the video that says, I hate every iota of a C word.
Oh, yeah. I hate every iota of a cracker. That's right. Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
I saw him that day. He is short.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. I had no idea. He's like 5'4", 5'5", man. I thought it was like at least 6 feet 6'1", and he was with like two guys who were like 6 feet 6'2". I thought it was going to be a big guy, man, but he wasn't that big, man.
Wow, because I know in the videos I've seen he looks very skinny, so I thought he was just like a big, like tall and lanky,
Yeah, yeah.
So here he is, this short, scrawny little guy. Maybe he's compensating for something,
Yeah, but he probably knows a lot of karate and stuff like that because he ain't no punk. I can tell he's not a punk though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he went to school with, so maybe he got beat up by some crackers. I don't know. Maybe, you never know back in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good event. I mean, there was no really hate rhetoric, and I'm gonna post some of what they said, on my YouTube, give my commentary about it because, you can love who you are and everything, but I don't take pro-white or pro-black people seriously, whether you be in the Klan or the Aryan Nation or the New Black Panther Party, People say one thing and do another, so, I mean, that's all.
Yeah. And, look, if people want to, live amongst themselves, people who look like them, I don't really see why people should be so upset about that. I mean, the only thing is like when you start to use it in a way that's negative. Like there's one way you can look at you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. That's what they always say. So your race is part of you, and so you have to love your race before you to be fully loving yourself, and then only then can you start to move on and to love other people and stuff like this. So it's only, but then the other thing is like when you start to use that self-love in terms of like a superiority, or you start to look down at other people.
Exactly, and that's what's not good.
Right. And and there are, it doesn't necessarily have to be race either. I mean, we see this in religion all the time.
Yeah. Christians, Catholics.
That's right. It's like they think that they're so holy in their religion, and then they start talking about, this one is so-and-so in the other religion.
Yep.
So, this is the problem with all of that, so. But you also were saying that there was some incident with a police officer at the subway.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was going to the train station, and this man dropped his stuff, and he was trying to get it up, and then his mother was in the wheelchair and was trying to get his mother, and his mother fell out the wheelchair by mistake on her face.
Oh.
And he was cussing up a storm, yelling, screaming. Manager had to come. 6 police officers had to come. He was screaming up a storm, and police had to control him. But there was no fight with the police officers. He was just arguing, but he finally left after like 40 minutes, though.
Wow. And this was a white guy, black guy?
White guy.
Short
white guy. 5'5".
Wow.
Built, though. He was built, though. But
well, so he was carrying his mother through the train station, and all of a sudden she fell. He dropped something, and then he was trying to pick it up, and he knocked his mom out of the wheelchair?
By mistake, of course, but yes.
Oh, man, that's pretty messed up. So what did he drop that he was carrying?
He dropped his bags that he was carrying because he was holding 2 things. I'm going to record not what happened, but, I mean, what he was yelling and screaming at. It was after the whole event happened, but I'll try to see if I can get the right video. But it was just madness, man. Like, people were just staring and watching. I mean, this is like my first time in New York, and I'm seeing this. And I thought the cops were going to beat his butt down, man, but they were just talking and trying. But the 6 of them cops, 6 of those cops went to him at the same time, though.
Yeah, because they do travel in groups now, from what I've heard. And if
yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And so they got some problem going on, they have to address it in a group like that. So.
Yep.
And so this took place, I'm assuming, knowing Harlem.
Penn Penn Station.
Okay, Penn Station. Okay.
Yeah.
Near what train line? Was it the 1 or the A line?
I think it was the 1 line.
1 line. Okay. Yeah, because Penn Station is pretty big, and that's one of those main hubs in the New York City subway system. So it's got a lot of parts. So if it kind of helps to narrow it down. If
I mean, New York really is just too much to handle for me. I thought Chicago was crowded. New York is just hecka crowded, man.
Yeah.
Traffic too. I'm glad I didn't drive to New York either.
No, yeah. So you took a plane, right? Yeah.
No, train. It took 3 hours to get there by train. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not bad. Yeah, 3 hours on the train there. Yeah. And so you went into you took Amtrak then, right?
Amtrak, yes. Yep.
Yeah. You took Amtrak over to 34th Street, and then you took the 1 line up to Harlem?
No, I just took a cab, actually. I wanted to take the train. My dad didn't like the subway, so.
Okay. You know, he didn't like the what did he not like about the subways?
Rats and people on the train.
Oh, well, okay. That might be the same thing in some cases. So there was still all of these subway rats running around there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, they're never going to get rid of the rat problem. So that's the problem. That's the thing about it, unfortunately.
There's also a people problem on the train too.
Yeah, it was really crowded, right?
No, just people being violent. I think this Joe from The White Voice keeps saying that he doesn't even take the train anymore because he's trying to be safe from some undesirable people. So,
yeah.
you know.
I used to take the subway all the time, at least twice a day when I was living in New York, and it's like going to work, during the rush hour. It literally is a sardine can. It's just you have to you can't say excuse me. You just have to put your shoulder to one side and just kind of shove your way in. And as you're shoving your way in, you have to say excuse me really loud. And it's just it's like thinking back about it. Yeah. It definitely is a shock. I can understand your
I would visit, but I would not live.
Very, very good. And so you took a cab up there, and where was this rally held?
I think it was Adam Clayton Power Building.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
And that's the state office building over there. Yeah. That's a nice area where they have it there. So it is pretty gentrified. So this is a good thing. And then you came right back, same thing on the train all the way back, yes?
All the way back, read a book, relaxed the whole time, and now I'm sore, and I got to travel again in the morning.
Where are you going?
I'm happy.
Where are you going to in the morning?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
Yeah, hopefully I can see both my friends, Michael Weaver and Patrick Sharp.
Yeah. Michael, okay, I think I know those guys. Yeah, it's Patrick Sharp. I think he was on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the White Student Union, and then Michael Weaver was the man who got arrested for pepper spraying somebody, and he was on my show before.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and they live down in Atlanta. That's all right.
No, Patrick lives in Atlanta, but Michael lives up in, it's like an hour away from Georgia.
Okay.
I forgot the name of it, though, but it's about an hour away.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't know that much about Atlanta area to really say that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'll do, I'll let you go because I know you got to get some sleep, and so I know you got your sound problems sorted out at least part of the way like that. So that's a good thing.
Yep. But thank you very much, Mr. Goodman. Hope to talk to you more.
Hey, thank you very much for coming on and sharing this. And what's your website so everybody can check this out when you put these videos on?
Just type in YouTube's and put in JUM90, JUM90. I'm going to probably change it soon, but right now just put in JUM90.
Okay, good stuff. All right, well, have a good night there, Chad.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Chad A.T. Here on the Newsguy Show talking about his experiences over there with the Justice for Trayvon rally. And I got to take a little break because the coffee is brewed, but I got to go take it off the thing. So I'm trying to think of some song to play for you guys. I don't know. Let me see here. Oh, wait a minute. I know what to play. I haven't played this in a while, and this is always a classic. Hold on here. Yeah, let's see here. Where is it? Let me see. Let me find it. I'm not going to play that one. Here we go. Yeah, this is the one. Yes. I know people have heard this before, so I'm going to play it again. This is Hal Turner versus TRP, Borvolk, featuring Brian Rio.
I have some great news from South Africa. A coalition of Boers has issued a declaration of independence in Cape Town.
Yes.
And they're demanding official recognition for a Boer government within South Africa. They want to break away and form their own,
white country.
Land.
Borvolk. White country.
The government's going to allow that in 1,000 years, though.
Hey, look, we can
shift. We might have a choice one day.
The people trying to carry that out are very well equipped from when they served in the South African military.
Very good military.
Right? I have been in touch with some of those people, and I happen to know that if they need any help in establishing their country, and if they need specific types of material or certain types of supplies, that right now, as I speak, I and others are opening those avenues to make certain they have what they need. So I arranged for a bunch of guys to take large loads of dynamite and put them underneath a key geological lock on a fault line down in Peru. And within the last few minutes, those explosives detonated, and it was successful. We have caused an earthquake in Peru. Well, I kind of like Charmander, and I like Pikachu, and then there's always Charizard. You know who's cute? I'll tell you who I really think is cute. Squirtle. Squirtle is cute. But I'm not sure I even know what a Mudkip looks like.
And that was TRP versus Hal Turner featuring Brian Rio with Borvolk here on the Newsguy Show. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, we got two callers on the line. I don't know which one called in first. I'm assuming that Southwest Missouri did, and I think I know who Southwest Missouri is. I should create a theme song for him. I'm assuming that it is, but we'll just find out once we get him on the line here. So welcome aboard Southwest Missouri. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Southwest Missouri. You're on the air.
Yeah, that's who you think it is. Why don't you get the hybrid nigger Anglo-Mestizo from, Muskogee or whatever. I'm quite sure that he needs to go ahead and pull in between banging the Obangi wife. I got quite a few things to go ahead and say. In between, and essentially the Anglo-Mestizo hybrid nigger with the nigger wife don't really have anything intelligent to say.
Marty, calm down. Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Calm down, you boy. I mean, shoot.
Marty, who is this hybrid nigger that you're referring to?
Oh, it's supposedly Puffy here, or Tito Parrish, or whatever the hell the mams have to say. I got a. Right now, I'm working on my forum. And pretty well, I've come to the conclusion. I was pouring concrete for my sister across the street, and I've come to the conclusion of why Life North Dakota. And I've come to the conclusion that underneath where it says "Welcome to Life," like in Tin Cup where it said no more driving balls for 125 miles.
Yeah.
One needs to fight for life. They ought to have a sign called "No niggers or coal beaners for 62.5 miles." Until you get closer to Dickinson or something. And essentially, I think that Fred O'Malley or Stan Diggs.
Marty, I got to let everybody bring everybody up to the same page. And when you're talking about life in Nebraska, not everybody understands what you're talking about. There is a gentleman out there.
North Dakota.
There's a gentleman out there in North Dakota, population 20, 25, something like that. He has bought up a series of plots out there, and he is creating a neo-Nazi enclave up there of some nature. And his name is Craig Cobb. He's been going and making the rounds, promoting this thing. I guess the SPLC has also written him up. He's been doing this for the last year, and all of a sudden the SPLC caught on to it. I don't know why. But actually...
No. Well, I know why.
Okay,
I can tell you why.
Tell me why.
Well, the reason is why life, and the whole purpose is that Corn Cob put up, him living in Life, North Dakota, on May 22nd, 2012, and it's been 15 months before the Southern Poverty Law Center decided to make a big thing and start the feeding frenzy. Mm-hmm. And now they got the nigger and smud shark wife here, and the mother died about a week or so ago. Mm. And the whole purpose was not to build a pioneer little Europe any more than April Gady wants to do so. I mean, Corn Cob is probably an ADL or Southern Poverty Law Center plant, and I'm working on an article on how to run Corn Cob off, based upon what worked by Carl Garst. Carl Garst ran Corn Cob off. Figured out he was a Southern Poverty Law Center plant, and essentially old Corn Cob tried to pull a gun on him and, tried to call the law on him, and essentially Corn Cob, eventually had to live in a hole for a couple months before he settled down with old PTT Tony. But in the meantime, he was getting old Joe Snuffy or Kevin Harfum put in prison while he was, doing this sort of shit. So, essentially, I smell a Zog plot, but I like it on BNNF, where essentially Donnie in Ohio is Mark Shit Cabbage or Pit Cabbage, and Linder is looking more like a Jew, and they pretty well outed Fred O'Malley, aka Stan Diggs, and Cynthia Slay, and
I got to stop you there. I got to put the hold on there for you for a second there, Marty, because now how did this Garth character, how did he figure out, and did he actually prove that Craig Cobb is an ADL, as you say, an ADL plant?
Oh, he's pretty well figured it out. I mean, it's sort of like proving that you're a alien living in Iceland. Everybody knows you're just a Jew boy living in Brooklyn or something. But I mean, you can't really prove anything to the satisfaction of a lying Jew or a Mamzer or whatever. But
there's something called proof. Like if you were to come to a court of law, you would have to prove that somebody is such and such a thing. And you might have to have some written documents. You might have to have some evidence of some nature to make the case. And just an accusation that so and so is such and such, it doesn't really make it true.
Well, you're talking according to Jew law. According to DSCI law.
Yeah,
all I need is a dull knife and a pair of pliers, and I'll get what I need. Huh?
No, the DSCI law says, according to you, this guy gets anointed as a priest or a preacher or whatever it is that you people do.
You're yapping about something you know nothing about. Jew boys and Mongols don't get to determine DSCI clergy.
And just like me as a pastor, and he anointed P. Dembski as a pastor, and also Lloyd Davies has now been ordained by Pastor Visser to go out and preach the gospel.
Oh, okay. Well, hell, this is Sephardic Melungeon, Mamzer law. I mean, that has nothing to do with anything.
How you lost all of your supporters there, Marty.
Calm down, Jew boy.
tell you.
By the way, I lost another Jew boy. We found out this goofy Jew boy called himself Douglas Pearson. His real name was Adam Pearlston. And the goofy Jew boy last night sent me a message whining about how I couldn't prove his name was Aaron Pearlston. But, he's only just a peg or so smarter than the retarded epileptic faggot intern. The dumb shit.
Say that you have further warlords, and you don't even have 10 of these people, Marty. You don't even have 10 warlords.
I'm not in. I really don't tell Jews or certain party law centers or Jew boys living in Brooklyn how many warlords they got. Offhand. I'm talking about Jew boys.
All of a sudden, you are on the outs with what's this guy, the truck driver who you always used to call into your show. He's a very nice guy. All of a sudden, you hate him now.
Who?
This one guy. I forgot his name. This guy. You know the guy. Talking about Russ. The guy that he's always...
Russ is a truck driver.
Yeah, well, Russ you hate Russ because Russ was able to verify that Visser is, in fact, a white man, and you don't like...
where do you get this stupid shit, Jew boy? You just pull it out of your kike ass. You ought to be glad you ain't like Rabbi Linder. At least you don't have Crohn's yet, as far as I know. Russ ain't a truck driver. In fact, I was talking to him last night on Eli James. Eli James has opened up a bread line and soup kitchen for importunate mammers.
Why don't you go there and get some bread? Why don't you go there and get some soup, Marty? You got to get something somewhere.
No,
right?
I don't need. I'm not a mom girl or mamzer in these crops like
you walk around and have beard all the time. You might
we're really getting bogged down in your kike Why don't you calm down? Why don't you calm down, Jew boy? Why don't you calm down, Jew boy, and have coffee on, and I'll come back in about half an hour. All right? When you calm down, clear the Crohn's here, and we'll talk about corn cob, okay?
Go anywhere, Marty. Marty, don't go anywhere because we do have another caller who wants to talk.
Well, hey, Jew boy, you don't tell me what to do. Well, you calm down, get Puffy, the hybrid nigger with the nigger wife, and he can snivel and say, Marty, all he wants.
Marty, I got a question for you. On your last show...
I'll call in about a half hour, all right?
Marty, why did you put this guy on for White Power Radio, and he said to you that he's an Irish Catholic... Oh, he hung up.
See, Marty's afraid of me. If he can't hang up on me, I'm like the cure to Martyism.
Yeah, he was actually trying to get off the line with me just now. That was the first time that I've ever driven him off the air. I put you on, but he was trying to get out of it before I put you on. And I was trying to ask him, it popped into my head as soon as he started calling you a quote-unquote hybrid nigger. I have to say to everybody, listen, I'm very sorry for the language that you have heard from the caller. But the views of the callers do not represent the Newsguy Show, and they are all completely of the callers themselves, and this is a free speech zone, if you will. So my apologies to everybody about that. But, the thing is that a couple of days ago, there's this ongoing feud that this guy from White Power Radio has with this Commander McBride. And then the guy's from Massachusetts. He's Irish Catholic. And, Marty didn't call him a hybrid nigger. And, Puffy?
Yeah, Marty's a trip. He's, there was a reason he was in the nut house for 4 years.
Yes.
That just isn't usually an accident,
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, people don't go into the nut house for just because they need a vacation.
No, I was calling in. Have you heard that Roger's supposedly in the hospital?
No, really?
Yeah, I don't know. You can't believe anything you read on the NIM board, but it come from DeLorean, who's been a amazingly accurate about Roger here lately. And he said, Roger had the same operation that my brother did.
Oh, where he got the testicle removed.
No, not the testicle. The prostrate. It's a little bit different. The radical prostatectomy.
Ooh, that's not fun. I can't imagine that. Yeah. So that means you can't get it up anymore.
Well, not necessarily. My brother. It's kind of funny. I don't really want to go into details, but he he calls me up, like 4:00 in the morning. Oh, I got it up last night. And I'm like, oh well, thank you for that information. But I think I read up on the operation when he had to have it. It was like 70% of the men who have it have some kind of erectile dysfunction afterwards. So.
Yeah, I could imagine that actually being the case because, the prostate is, well, that produces the semen, but I'm pretty sure that it has something to do with erection as well.
Well, that nerve cluster, I'm a physician's assistant, even though I really don't use my education like I should. The prostrate, what it does, there's that nerve cluster that runs through there for for you getting it up, and they actually have to move that if they're going to remove it. They've got what they call a. I don't know if my brother had there's the robot procedure, and then there's just the radical prostatectomy, but. In either case, they have to, move the nerve cluster.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's a rough situation, It's just, well, at least he's alive, That's the one thing, And I guess he can't do the videos anymore because, your brother does this website where he spanks crack whores.
They're not crack whores, but no, there's. I was kind of surprised because I was watching them, or I was, posting this morning, and then this afternoon I logged on, and I guess I don't know who it is for sure. I'm assuming it might be DeLorean, but I really don't know. Was posting, apparently my brother's posted several new videos, and he showed pretty much. Let me see if I can get some of the pictures from the NIM board. Hold on. So for those who think I am him, he is radically thinner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Here we
go. Your brother has lost weight now.
Yeah, he said he's going to be coming over and working out with me, but I haven't seen this yet.
Hmm. That should be interesting. I mean, I don't know if he's going to. Well, what can he do? I mean, how long has it been since the surgery now? A year, right?
No, I'm trying to think. I think he had it in March or April.
Wow, and he's still going to be working out after, not too long, to be working out after that.
Yeah, I have cautioned him because, after you have a surgery like that. There's the old chance that you start lifting heavy after that, and your stomach drops into your nut sack.
Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun. Or you could maybe rupture something that was starting to heal. That was on its way and had not fully healed.
Oh, somebody's not getting. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to find the Sandy Hook is proof we need gun control. I wouldn't say that. Man, there's just...
Well, while you're looking for this, I got to tell everybody, I forgot to tell everybody at the beginning of the show there, but I have started to isolate some of the clips and from this show, which I have neglected to do for the longest time, and now I'm putting them up on the Newsguy Show blog, which is the newsguyshow.blogspot.com. And the first show up there, the first which is available as a podcast, is the aborted Chuck Van Waddy interview, the one that started it all between me and Pete Dembski for that last week or so. And, so I'm going to put up the remaining. I was listening to the rest of that show where Pete Emsky and I made up, and it does need to be edited down a little bit, because there was some extraneous stuff there going on. But, it is very interesting stuff. So, anyway. So if people want to listen to any of the podcasts, people are wondering, okay, some of the interviews get buried in the show or segments get buried and, they don't want to wade through an entire 2 or 3 or sometimes 5-hour show. This is the place to do it. And if you got any requests, I guess, even, if you want something isolated or something like that, let me know. Drop me a line, the newsguy2005@gmail.com, and I'll see if I can get to it, and, it'll be good stuff. So, did you find these? Okay, I guess I'm seeing it right now. This is some sort of a clip that you put in here?
I didn't put it up. It was posted by somebody from the NIM board. I mean, I don't have much, really, intervention with him from, we had disagreements. We had some really good, and he still has them. I'm not going to mention them because when I do, they get attacked by the Nimbusters. People do DOS attacks for him, and I'll never hear the last of it because they're live web shows. But he had some a lot better ones where he wasn't in it, if I dare say that.
Yeah. Oh, I did see this picture, this GIF that you put up here of your brother spanking this woman. So it is interesting to say the least. So, but he can still spank the girls, right? I mean, he might not be able to sodomize them anymore, but I mean, at least he can, give them a good spanking.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how much, say, if the penis doesn't work, how much, I got this kind of theory that he has issues with anger towards women anyway. If you couldn't get it up, I can't even imagine that. Man, I don't know if I'd want to, I maybe this makes me sound shallow, but, man, if I couldn't have sex, I might not want to go on living.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there are other things that, I don't know. I guess if people live for an orgasm, that really wouldn't be, a way to live without an orgasm. But there are other. If sex is about a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So,
well, I please my wife when we have sex, and but dang, I don't know. It's like. I don't know about you, but I love chasing women, and it's not necessarily the I think Black Sabbath said this. It's not the necessarily the kill, but the thrill of the fight or the thrill of the chase. But hey, if your wiener didn't work, what would be the the point of the hunt in the first place?
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. But maybe, I don't know, you got something else going on. I hope I never I hope I am never in that position where I have to actually start to think about it like that. But, I guess, if you still, the whole attraction thing, you're getting a woman to find you to be attractive and desirable and that type of stuff, Maybe it's something along those lines,
Well, of course, I can't chase, my wife doesn't let me chase women anymore, so that's, I guess, I could live without my penis. I've been thinking about this a lot because I have the same genetics as my brother. And he had that surgery, he's only 44 or 45, I'm not sure. Let me think. He's born in 68. I guess that would make
44. Yeah, about 45 almost.
Yeah. So
he's there. He's got the thing, and maybe. Well, have you been tested for it?
I get a PSA and when I get my physical and stuff, but I've never had the PSA is the indicator, and then they go into bigger or better things if your PSA is elevated.
So it's not like they do give you the rubber glove or anything like that, right?
I haven't had the rubber glove yet. They usually don't do that till you reach the age of 40. I've got a few more years before that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Have you had the rubber glove?
No, I have not had the rubber glove.
Okay, well, here is the important thing about this, and you might want to take notes. Okay, if the doctor's giving you the exam and he has both hands on your shoulder, be afraid. Be very afraid.
Exactly. That's very, very good. All right, hey, listen, Puffy, I'm going to let you go, but...
Oh, wait, can I ask one more just quick question? What about the P. Dembski Newsguy fight? Is that over?
Yes, that is over.
I wanted it to develop into something like Roger Lloyd. I mean...
Well, yeah, I know, because you and Hwanger called in that night and onto his show and were really stirring it up there and saying all sorts of horrible things about me and all kinds of stuff. But, yeah, this is expected because I understand you have a certain hatred for me, but...
No, I don't. I have no hatred for any Nimbuster, and that includes... I say as much good things about you as I do negative things. You know that. You should know that.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just, but,
I have no hatred, I promise you, towards, there's some people that are annoying, like the guy that just loves to, I'll come on and, he posts the same stuff that he's posted, like, for the last 5 years. But, hey, I figure he just, that's his way of saying, hey, UF, hey, buddy, how you doing? Let's go out and have a beer sometime.
Celtic Prony is saying that you're a personal hero of his.
Oh, that's weird. Well, anyway, I'll let you go. I know you got more things to do on your show, and sorry to take up your time. I will have an interesting announcement, hopefully, the next time I call in. I can't, I'm not going to say anything now, because then if I promise it and it never happens, it'll make me look silly.
You got me intrigued, at least. I'd like to know what... At least, can you give us any little bit of a hint?
There might be another person calling in at the same time that sounds a lot like me.
Oh. Now, okay. Now, save it for the Newsguy Show, not for Puffy, not for P. Dembski's show. You got to give me the exclusive here.
Well, my brother thinks you're a racist, and he does dislike you. So I'll try to get him, since you've had the show longer, and I like you both. Or we might have a neutral forum, like maybe me and Hwang's show. I don't know yet, but he's talking about coming back to Nimbusters. There's something I think he wants to say to somebody. This is a long-running feud he's had with somebody, and I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Okay. Well, on that note, we'll just have to see how it goes because, I know, see, the thing is that I don't know if it's really, who do we trust on this whole thing? Who can we really believe? Because I know you did that video where, you were confiscating or stealing or kidnapping Puffy, and it was a whole comedy bit, of course, and you did say that was your wife at the end of the video there, but we could clearly see that you, underneath that mask was your brother.
That was Angela and my brother. I was never in. I think my hand may have been in it at one point. I abused Puffy, which, somebody was threatened to report me to, that was just canned animal sounds with a stuffed cat. No animals, minerals, or humans were harmed in the filming of that video.
Yeah, it was just a Puffy puppet, rather.
Yeah.
A Puffy puppet. Try to say that 5 times. The Puffy Puffin.
I was actually only involved, there's some of the others that I don't know why he never posted. I was actually only involved. That was not my wife, but it was Angela.
Mm-hmm. That was your wife, Angela. We know that, yes. But were you...
My wife was, honestly, I may have claimed it a couple of times, but that was all a troll. I was never married to that woman, although I have had sex with her. And I do like her a lot.
This one, LaQuisha, what is her name? No.
You talking about Trayla?
Yeah, Trayla, that's it. Trayla Jones.
Oh, I don't, me and Trayla got a real problem right now, and I don't really want to discuss that because I guess I was drunk last night and I posted some stuff on the NIM board, and she posted a lot of real personal stuff on F2, I guess. I need to go over there and look at that. I actually haven't. I've just gone by what other people have said.
Yeah, because we all remember when you were holding your show there, and Trayla called in. But now, if Trayla is not your wife or your ex-wife, and she's only somebody who called in, who only you had sex with, then why was she calling in saying that if you ever want to see your child again?
Yeah, I don't really want to go in that, but let's just say she's the baby's mama.
Okay, so she's the baby's mama, but okay, so you were not married, but you do have a child with her. But then
I sinned out of wedlock. I'm so sorry.
Well, these things happen, But the thing is that when Trayla Jones, then there's Angela Littleaxe, who is your wife, yes?
No, I claim she's my wife.
She's not your wife. Okay, so Trayla Jones is not your wife. But Angela Littleaxe, rather, is not your wife. But Angela Littleaxe also has your baby also? Or one of your babies?
No.
No, she doesn't have any of your babies.
Just my wife, and...
Okay, but she's not... I thought you just said that she's not married. You just said you're not married to Angela Littleaxe.
I do have a wife. Okay, Newsguy, I'm sorry. I've run so many trolls and told you so many stories. I don't blame you for not believing me. I would not actually post pictures of my wife on Nimbusters. Come on, dude. You know what happens to when people get their pictures posted on Nimbusters, right?
We all know, yes. It's not a thing.
I would not get my wife. It was bad enough, and I hate Stan for this, and I know he did it on purpose. Stan is not what you guys think, because I know Stan better than anybody here. He can be really vindictive. Well, somebody posted an address when I was still living in Arcadia. I do not live in Arcadia anymore. And it was very, very similar to my name, enough where the mailman would deliver it. And I started getting the most nasty stuff. I'm going to assume it had something to do with the Roger Lloyd feud, because it's some of the stuff that Lloyd said that he used to get, which, But anyway, I don't want anything personal of mine to ever get into Nimbusters.
Right.
Because let me even state this, because I know Roger isn't listening, but it really does bother my conscience, given what things have said that Gino Paris, which he probably would go over there and at least beat the hell out of Roger again. Mm-hmm. And if I had anything to do with it, or me, or Stan, we should all, there's something really wrong here. There's something wrong when Lloyd, I guess, if you'll remember, somebody started calling DHS or whatever they got in Missouri on Steve Holstein. They did it under the name of, if I remember right, Hal Turner. That stuff was real. You don't take Nimbusters into real life. To me, that's just wrong.
Yeah, I remember somebody called. Steve Holston is a longtime member of Nimbusters who goes back to the days of the Hal Turner message board. And what somebody did was Steve Holston lives in an undisclosed, I will not say the county that he lives in, Missouri, but he does live in Missouri. Let's just put it that way. So what somebody did was they figured out where he lives. They called into the local police station and said that they were Steve Holston and they were going to go on a race-based murder spree in the name of Hal Turner.
Oh, was that it? I thought it had something to do with little Michael and child molestation, and I don't know. You know, you read so much stuff, but in any case, what the deal was, they took that into the real world. That's just wrong.
Yeah, I would say so. That is just wrong. And people are including wives and all kinds of stuff. You know, it's just not good. Somebody started posting P. Dembski's wife's picture, and that really upset her.
Yeah, I would never. I mean, I would never do that. I did not do that. I promise you. The only, you know, I did use some pictures of Steve, but they were with Steve's permission, and they're not the more recent. You know, I guess maybe I started something because somebody, you know, posted those pictures of him, and you know, he's lost his leg, and they really, I don't know, man, they were tugging at my heart when I seen those, because I mean, you know, Steve is a nimbuster. He doesn't deserve that kind of harassment.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. But, you know, it's still kind of a confusing thing, because I do remember a while back you posted some pictures. I think it was you, because these were personal pictures of you and, which one was it? Angela Littleaxe on a boat. You know, you're out there. Yeah. And then there was a white woman in the pictures that you said was your ex-wife or your girlfriend. I don't remember the whole thing, but that's not your wife? The woman in those pictures is not your wife?
I would rather, if we get on this conversation, I'm going to have to start lying to you again. Let's just say I'd rather not talk about that.
Okay, because I cannot tell whether you're lying or not, because you have like that deadpan kind of slow type of deal, so there's no like type of
Okie speak.
What?
Okie speak. You know, when I looked up in Canada, I talked really fast. I mean, people up there, even though it's kind of country where I live, we talked really fast. I come down here, everybody talks slow. I mean, it takes them a week sometimes. I mean, I know it would drive you crazy or being from New York, but they talk so damn slow, man. And, you know, I mean, they're really nice people, but they talk slow.
I can imagine that. But, you know, I'm just, I'm trying to listening for any kind of changes in your voice or anything like that. So I can't ever tell if you're lying or not. So it's always like, I'm always assuming that you're lying.
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm talking about personal things, but I'm trying not to do that to you anymore. So, you know, having kids really change you. And like I said, it got me really thinking, because you can go take Nimbusters too far. People have died. Kurt Maynard and Yankee Jim, and we were really, really baiting those guys.
Yeah, that is too much. That is too much. But listen, before you go, I guess, you know, because you did call in to Marty's show, and, you know, Marty calls you a hyper-enter. I'll change it because, you know, my apologies for using that word. But,
yeah,
you know,
that's okay.
Hyper-enter, you know, hyper-enter. And, you know, you did call into these guys' shows a couple of weeks ago, actually a couple of months ago at this point. This was into the Hate Project, you know, which
Trooper Guy.
Yeah, Trooper Guy. But Tyrant Trooper 1488 is his name. And actually the Hate Project is ending his show on Monday.
Oh, really? Maybe I'll call in and not harass him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to call in and say arrivederci and shalms and bye to him, you know, because the thing is, you know, I've always been kind of a bit of an enemy of his, but he called into my show once, And we were very cordial with each other, and maybe I got to return the favor at least. Say bye-bye. I don't know if he's going to be doing another type of show, but he might be. You never know. But there was one time when this was back in March of this year when you called in. Tyrant Trooper was on, and everybody wants me to play this clip. So
that was funny. I think he called me a gay leprechaun or something like that.
And then you threatened to beat the crap out of him. So,
hey, if he comes to my gym and wants to put on the gloves, I will certainly do it.
Yeah. How about like instead of fighting, how about we settle this peaceful means? I don't know, a game of mahjong.
Yes. I'm a Class A player in chess. I would love to. Of course, you play anybody online, and you got to pretty much assume you're playing their chess computer.
Yeah, well, the chess computers are pretty tough. But let me just play this clip for everybody so they get a chance to hear what actually we're talking about here. All right, here we go.
You're a liar, dude. Kiss my ass, fucker. All right. So long.
Okay, just keep lying, and I'll just keep calling you on it.
Right. I have no reason why, man.
So, after your yellow teeth, do you interbreed with your sister as well?
If this show's gonna go like that, man, I got nothing else to say.
I'm also whiter than you are. I'm redheaded, Irish. You don't have to hate other people outside of your race, dude, to be white.
No, I just hate gay.
You don't have to lie about other people to be white. You make white people look bad, dude.
No, not really, man. I just hate gay leprechauns like yourself, man. I make white people look good.
You wouldn't keep your teeth and call me a gay.
Yeah, I will keep my teeth, man. You're fucking do about it, man. Fair enough.
Give me your address and we'll see.
Oh no, and that was a little taste of that altercation between you two.
I was trolling that show, but I did feel like, I don't endorse a lot of what Daryl Lamont Jenkins does, but, I do know him a bit, mostly through ISIS, and I did know that what he was saying was pretty much a lie.
And I have to say, and I'll tell this to the Hate Project, I know I've been, kind of on his case. I say, he's been stealing my guests, stealing ideas from the show and all this kind of stuff. But, I like listening to the show, and he does a good thing, and with everybody on there trolling each other and everything like that. So it is going to be, something bad to see him go. But I don't know, maybe he'll do something else,
Well, post a link, I'll drink a little Irish whiskey and come on, and it might be fun.
Yeah, it's good. It'll be good stuff. I think so. All right, but I'm going to say goodbye to you right now, and maybe Marty will call back in a little bit.
I'm going to try to get my brother on. No promises, but I'm going to try.
Okay, sounds good. You just do it whenever you feel like it. No rush. No scheduling. In fact, the more impromptu, the more just off the top of your head, the better, I think.
Oh, and I want to endorse P90X. I think it's the best workout plan out there.
I'm going to have to start looking, because when after, what's his name, this guy who won for the vice president here, he started talking about this P90X. I was looking into it.
I can't remember his name either, but and you can see when he started the old pictures, when he started using it, the difference. Gosh, he was a Tea Party favorite, and I can't even think of his name. Isn't that terrible?
Paul Ryan.
Oh, yeah. I respect, I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but I do respect him as far as I think he was, maybe Romney could have chosen better.
He was, and I hate to use this phrase, but, he does have something very similar in common with you, even though you are from opposite sides of the political spectrum there, both of you have a fondness for the dark meat,
Oh, Paul Ryan does?
Oh, yeah. He had a black girl cheerleader as a girlfriend back in college.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I don't think that... I would just like to say, I'm pretty much middle of the road. Oh. I don't think that I don't think you can't. I think you can be conservative and not be racist. I don't know very many people who are, but I will just say you can. I don't like Palin, but I don't think she's racist.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of people say she's a coal burner.
Well, yeah, because there's some allegations that she had an affair with some basketball guy back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's true or not, and she never really confirmed or denied it. So that was the whole thing with that. But, you know, it is very strange. I mean, people say Palin, people accuse Republicans of being misogynist and they don't want to see women in power or anything like that. But they always forget people like Margaret Thatcher, Sarah Palin, Bob Dole's wife, who was a very powerful senator down in the South. You know, people forget all of that. You know, it's not about gender at all. You know, it's and then they always say, you know, Republicans are racist and all that. But, you know, when there are Republicans who are black, you know, they get a lot of support from white Republicans, you know.
Yeah, what was the guy?
The pizza guy?
Yeah, I kind of liked him, you know. I mean, not because he was black. I mean, but I thought he had some good points, especially about taxes.
Yeah, yeah. It is unfortunate that he couldn't wrap his head around. He could. He was just a little unschooled in the whole foreign policy thing, you know. And he got that question about the right of return, the Palestinian right of return, and he just was, you know, answer that correctly. And then he wound up just basically admitting that he was whatever he would do as president would just be to rubber stamp Israel's decisions or desires, and you know that's not a good thing.
Oh, what do you think about just? I know you want to hang up on me, but just quit. I don't think we should go into Syria. I don't think we should be the world's policeman. I mean, yeah, they probably did use. I mean, if you want to go in and attack Iran, or at least bomb their nuclear facilities, I could see that. But Syria, I don't know. I'm not feeling Syria.
Yeah. Well, like I've said, I really would want to wait until after the United Nations makes its conclusions. You know, and it's not going to happen for, like last week they said it was going to take 2 weeks. So maybe next week or the week after that they'll finally come forward with their conclusions on this. And, you know, until then, you know, we really should just wait, unfortunately. You know, I know a lot of people are saying that we should go in right now and we should topple Assad and all of this, but God forbid we topple Assad. What's going to happen after that? I mean, we look at what's happened to the rest of, look at what happened with Egypt, you know? I mean, do we want another Morsi kind of guy in there?
We did in Iraq. I mean, you know.
There you go. And look, we've left Iraq, right? And now it's devolved into a sectarian, well, not sectarian, but into a religious civil war. You know, the Sunni and Shia are setting off car bombs all over the place, blowing each other up. Every week it's like a couple of hundred people die just from car bombs alone.
Yeah, so. George Bush Jr. should have read his own daddy's book, who predicted all this, which I would highly recommend. These were the reasons why he did not go and remove Saddam from power. But, I think maybe Junior did read it. It was Dick Cheney who didn't read it.
This is the problem. So, yeah, well, we'll just have to say, and the TRP and the Hate Project are equally as bad lately, says Celtic Brony. Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but I like the Hate Project, and TRP used to be good. But wait, listen, I'm not going to comment on TRP, but we got a guest 11 calling in, so I'm just going to keep you on, Puffy, because maybe guest 11 wants to talk to you. Chime in on this. Oh, no, I think I know who this is.
Hello.
I hear it already. Hello.
Yeah, do you hear my deep voice?
Yes, I hear it already. Yes. Hello, deep voice guy.
Deep throat.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not Puffy. People think I'm Puffy, but I'm not him. I'm the guy that puts up the Pico song clips.
Ah, okay. Are you from Alaska? Because I remember one time you called in and it said that you were from Alaska.
No, I'm not from Alaska, but I just like to call in as Alaska to make people think I'm from there.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
I got MA Freedom on Martin Lindsted's show.
Yeah,
Thursday.
you know, I know. I called because last week was when Bride called in. He was laying in all the details about that he was doing, and there's a lot of feedback.
Well, it's probably.
I'm sorry, guest 11. Hold on. Let me bring you back here. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, there's always feedback. If I don't speak, the mic creates the feedback if I don't speak for a long time.
Okay.
So I'll probably have to hang up in 5 minutes.
Okay. But yeah, last week, Commander McBride, he called in and he started talking about this feud that was happening with M.A. Freedom. And then all of a sudden, M.A. Freedom and having radio wars with each other. Guest 11. Sorry about that. And then they were having these radio wars with each other, and so I decided to call over to M.A. Freedom, and I did speak to him. He declined to come on the show. He actually wanted some information that I wasn't able to give him as a condition of his coming on. But then I guess Guest 11 called over there and got M.A. Freedom to call into Marty's show, which was a very big get. But I don't know. McBride, he doesn't want to talk about it either, because I think that he messed with the wrong guy when he messed with M.A. Freedom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. McBride is McChicken.
Yes, that's the whole thing. I don't know. Apparently McBride got several of his supporters to defect, and this was all because of what M.A. Freedom was doing. And then, according to M.A. Freedom, he's told me this over the phone, but then he also went public with it as well, so it's not like it's a secret. Apparently, McBride called over to M.A. Freedom and offered a $250 donation to his cause, the cause of his choice, if he would just drop the feud and leave him alone. So this is something that I guess McBride didn't realize who he was tangling with or something.
Uh-oh. Comrade McBride is in trouble.
Yeah. So, all right, so I'll let you go there, Puffy. It was really good having you on, and we'll just look forward to having you and your brother on at the same time. Hopefully it won't be you on two phone lines calling in at the same time or some sort of a weird technological magic that you...
Oh, see, that's what... Yeah, I know. I can never really resolve this. Even when we posted the videos back when, when people first started saying this, and I posted a picture of, my penis talking like Lloyd, which I thought was funny, but, I had the flat stomach, and then he did the shake my booty thing, and he didn't, you could tell he didn't have the flat stomach. I don't know what happened to that. I actually thought that was the most hilarious thing that he'd ever... I don't remember exact. We both wanted to be rock and roll stars when we were younger, so.
Well, I don't know what happened with that either. I think that somebody DMCA'd it. I'm not too sure.
And I would like to say I'm the anti-Marty. If you need, it's like if you need the pesticide for Marty. I'll go. I've been. I don't do the Marty Como thing. That is not me. So I'm not, 100% anti-Marty. Is batshit crazy child molester,
Yeah.
And I have kids now, and I don't like pedos. I do not like you, Toad.
No. Well, no.
But anyway, I'll let you go. I talk too much. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But it was very good having you on. So I'll speak to you hopefully in the future.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, and that was Puffy, ladies and gentlemen. Salutary and Pride says Puffy has no brother. This will be the debate of the century, I think, for some time to come. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another break, very short one. I'm going to play another song. This is from the collection here. This is Shotgun Marty. only exclusive here on the Newsguy Show. So we'll be right back after this.